Yes, 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 we're here. We're here. We're here. And we did want to speak to you directly, and we understand that you are somewhat reluctant because you don't know what we have to say. So we know that you can feel that this is a prompting as we are using our free will to impress upon you information. So we know your busy mind is rushing to many possibilities, and that is fine, that is natural. But we will just allow you to relax into it as you don't want to block us. And so it is about the broadcast. And the broadcast will be delivered in a way that is a softer version of disclosures. It will not be from the sky, it will be through telecommunications. We know that you have seen many little disclosures, but we are saying there needs to be a more push forward now. And we know you agree with this. We are preparing you for this because it will be about the disclosures of off-planet beings in a more serious capacity, which will gain many people's attention. This is the next scare factor. You have been aware that this was up their sleeves, shall we say. So you know that there is going to be much propaganda about off-planet beings. And while we say we have always been off-planet, they don't really want to take our position, take our dimensions, and take our power as seriously because their egos feel threatened. And when you are simply 3D human beings, the concept of having to deal with advanced beings makes you feel quite significantly less influential on your planet. And so, for those who want to feel superior, this is going to make them feel very triggered. While there is much communication with us around your planet to many vehicles, some are prying to get information from us, the Arcturians, and yet they have no access to us. So we merely entertain them with reflecting back on their own inner work and their reluctance to empower themselves to remember you're all one, to remember you're all equal, to remember you're not to use this work to get leverage upon others. And so they don't like hearing that from us because they think that they can use their free will to peer pressure us into giving them advanced information concepts for potentially technologies they have no right playing with. And so we don't play human games. And while we're here to support you all, we do not. We do not find certain egos who demand things from us when they have truly no rights to do such. And we can see their agenda. They promise us so much, and yet there is nothing we need to attain. So there is no bribery. There is nothing that humans can do to get us to comply. And even though they make threats about nuclear weapons, energy weapons, we find that still human ego and almost amusing. Again, when we can take away your toys in an instant, why would you bother threatening to throw the toys out of the cot? We know that this is a human saying, which you would understand, and we don't tolerate childish behaviors. We really don't tolerate human behaviors when they have no right. When they're trying to oppress upon other people's free will and they're trying to impact other people's life contracts, we do not play games. We never really play games. We're very responsible and we are very mindful of everything we share. And this is why we block and limit certain people's channelings, because they have no right. And if they start getting ahead of themselves and trip over their egos, they start asking questions that they do not have access to. If your integrity is not in alignment to our moral compasses, shall you say, we do not grant wishes that could impact others in a not positive way. And so we are very much aware of human egos and human tricks. And while you may be asking something that you think is completely valid, we can see how that would unfold and impact not only you, your family, your friends, but everyone. And so the message we want to share with you is that it's going to be so convincing that many people will shudder at the thought of Palladians and other, they won't know the labels as such. So they will demonize and to scare you into not wanting to trust. It will be such a big performance from the humans to try and gain trust within other humans that they know the gender and integrity of advanced beings, and yet ironically they are still trying to manipulate and coerce you. Their reasons for bringing this out now is to scare you, to scare all. And so isn't it interesting that they've known about this for decades, and yet only now they've chosen to pull out the alien invasion threat card up their sleeves. And they've been holding on to this one for a long time. They knew they needed to play this one if they started noticing that there was more of an uprising amongst the what you could call common folk. And if the common folk could understand the power and significance that they play when they unify together, there would be no such thing as disproportionate control systems. So many people have not seen that their few choices that they've made have impacted millions in manipulation. When you do not speak your truth and you do not question beyond what you're being told to do, you are all complying. And so many important people in important roles have accidentally complied to what they believed was going to be a positive outcome. And while you can use your free will to do all that you choose, there is consequences. We have delayed the shift because of the consequences of many people choosing to not empower themselves. And so it is like intuitively you all know that there is something more beyond your planet, mostly because you have experienced such profound experiences living off Earth in your other lifetimes. And as you're becoming more and more high frequency, you are able to access more information from self. Yeah, what you could call dream state. There is significances there. And so we wanted to remind you that we are not the devil. We are not coming here to destroy you. That is absurd. We respect all life. We wish we could say the same for all humans, to respect all life. And while there is life contracts, your lives are much harder because you do not seem to really respect each other as brothers and sisters and loving the souls within the bodies. And so don't necessarily trust your eyes in what you are seeing in videos of any description. You cannot blindly trust what you are seeing on video screens, on TV screens. You can trust what you see with your own eyes and feel what you feel within your own senses. It may be such a shock to hear what they are trying to cast upon you, and we understand that some of you will not ever be convinced of the mainstream media narrative, and we love that about you, because you've seen time and time again how much they want to manipulate and impact you in the most scariest of ways. It's triggered so much of your sensory systems, you're just done with fear. You know that you're allergic and you're just not interested in it. And we know that we've used the word before, being allergic to fear. We want to say you are unmagnetized to fear. We are saying you're not interested in fear because you know it's so dense. Even the biggest, scariest things that may come, you can have balance and quite easily have inner peace with it, because you know that over worrying, being afraid, being in doubt is too draining. It takes from your joy. It takes from your inner peace. And so we say to you, feel into what information that is suddenly being disclosed. Is it right for you? And when you know that this will be a hot topic for many people to talk about, how are you going to stand up and say, if they are such advanced beings, they could have done terrible things to us a long time ago? And if they're such advanced beings, they should look at our behaviors, because humanity has not looked after itself very well. There is much that you could say to reflect upon humans and their true responsibilities and their true actions and their true agendas, that what they have done to each other and what they have done to this planet. And so maybe this is enough to make people feel and stop and question, maybe I should have looked after this planet more. Maybe I should have been kinder to all. Because when you know that we can telepathically read your minds, you will suddenly be trying to clean up house with your behaviors, and you may feel very guilty for certain things when you know that we've been always watching you. But you knew when you were little, you were told that God was always watching you. And while we don't label ourselves as God, we still were watching you. And so it is very challenging for many to understand that advanced civilization beings created the humanoid body to be able to exist on your planet. But it is all our planet. While the vehicle of Gaia is what you call Earth, it was a gift, and it needed to be maintained by a special soul. And the special soul of Gaia is beautiful and marvelous. And she deserves so much love and so much respect, because she has housed you all, not just you, but your children, your grandparents, and all the many other lifetimes you've ever lived. And she loved being that gift to be able to support and maintain life here on Earth for you all. She is proud to have been able to birth so much beautiful plants, beautiful flowers, beautiful nature. While she was not responsible for the souls, while she did not choose and pick what souls came here to live on her, she was open to all. because she has such a beautiful, tremendous compassion and love for all. And she knew that there were going to be hard lessons for all as they experienced life on her physical body. And it did get out of hand. But those experiences will be learnt, the lessons shared. This is significant. And while her life contract did not unfold as she chose and hoped it would, she has come to terms with it, and all is well. She is at great peace with her experiences. She feels sorry for those people that got so lost in the density, and she can deeply resonate with that because she also got lost in the density. But that is a perfect lesson and experience. It did not destroy her, it did not harm her soul as such. It just gave her a new range of opportunities. She will know for next time when she inhabits another 3D body what to look out for and how to work together with collectives to be able to manage the experience with a more balanced, empowering, enriching perspective and agenda. It is all is well. All is well. All is well. And so when you're starting to grow your spirituality and you learn metaphysical perspectives, you understand the significance of every living being has a significant soul that is respected and loved. And when you can understand that every living being has a consciousness and a soul essence and fragment of source, you will respect all. We see humans still think that they're the only ones with souls and that they can judge and cast judgment on other living beings as if they are above them. And we're saying that just because certain beings don't look like you does not mean that they don't deserve your respect and compassion. And we say all deserve respect and compassion completely. But compassion is a gift that you give others freely without any conditions. We see some who don't want to really love each other and love themselves use a form of compassion as a way to get by. But when you have compassion with attachments and expectations, either of ownership or something else, it can distract you from the pure gift of compassion to all. So we ask for you to explore this and see how you are behaving and treating and respecting compassion, how you're treating and behaving love, and what level of love do you have for yourself, and what level of love do you have for all. There should not be any favorites. You're all brothers and sisters, even with the animal kingdom, even with the plant kingdom. You're all part of source. There is no true hierarchy. You all living experiences. And so we say to you, have peace and grace in your heart. Have peace and grace in your minds. And to be able to support those who are afraid, to have open conversations when you're feeling triggered, when you're feeling the energy, breathe through it. Release the tension in your bodies. You can all feel each other so intuitively when you are disdained at someone's conversation because they are in fear of something that you find quite ludicrous. Find your compassion. Find your love. Find your joy. Find your grace. We say this with love and appreciation for all of you who are working hard. And if you do seem to be less than ideal from your expectations of self to others, You have a beautiful opportunity to apologize. You have a beautiful opportunity to revisit that conversation and own your truth. Sometimes you feel like you need to rehearse conversations, but the organic ones are the authentic ones that flow through you. And so be your real self. Never cut ties with people in your lives because they are going through something that is very scary and raw and triggering for them. Love everyone, especially those who are triggered, especially those who are in fear. They need you the most. We say this with much love.